Hi everyone. In this video today we're going to discuss the book, the new book that I've written over here. It's called OnTensors. We're going to, in this book, discuss linear algebra as a basis to tensors and kind of merge those two ideas of linear algebra and tensors with the application of discussing the surface curvature concept from differential geometry. So this is what we're going to do today. We can just let me remind everybody how to get to this book. I guess we should have our sponsors give their plug line. Let me get out of the way here. This is an Unconcise Math production. Unconcise Math up above. I'm Jason Osborne, and yeah, that's about it for the logo screen. So unconcise-math.com is where you can go to get started on this. Let me get back up here in the screen. If you go to unconcise-math.com, this is what you'll find. It's a website that I've kind of written. It's kind of my written blog, amongst other things. Got some YouTube videos posted also. So you can go to the post section 2023, and down here you should see the book for OnTensors, and down below here you will see, let me see if I can get this onto the screen. Sorry, at the bottom you'll find an Apple book link for this book also. All right, so that's how we get into the OnTensors book. Here's the book cover again. And so this is what I'm going to work through here is essentially the blog post. I'm just going to scroll up and down the screen and we'll just talk about it, what we're seeing over here a little bit. This is the fourth book in a series of books. And they build in mathematical complexity. The first book, A Curvature Story, is just a graphical introduction to geometry, and we have these two other books here, the metric tensor and geodesic triangles, which build in mathematical complexity a little bit, but discuss some foundational ideas in geometry. And the tensors book is the book that kind of is the mathematical glue that makes all these books work together. So if you want the most mathematical detail, you can jump into this tensors book. But if you want to just get an idea of some of the ideas behind the scenes in a illustrated graphic novel format, then you can try these three other books right here. But today we're going to discuss the OnTensors book. Here's a screenshot of the table of contents, but we're going to just focus on the OnTensors book today and just kind of show that this is a animated graphic novel that you can interact with a little bit. We'll kind of show you, here we go, get into the table of contents. It's an interactive table of contents. You can click, it'll go to the page. And here we have, in this book, we're going to discuss several ideas, a linear algebra review, motivate linear algebra, show some code that does computations, talk about tensors in the context of geometry. We're going to kind of glue all those together into a network of ideas, mathematical ideas. So here's a couple pages of the book. You can interact with some of the graphics on there, and I'll show you some of the handwritten notes I've put into the book. And so this is kind of what we're gonna kind of give a short summary of today. Okay, so one of the concepts in this book is we're going to talk about linear algebra. Again, you can see this is an interactive book. You can click some of the graphics and you'll see some of my handwritten notes on top of the pages here. But you know, we're ideas to build up linear algebra from the ground, matrices and vectors and matrix vector multiplication and all this kind of stuff, you know, in a kind of simple one-page format per idea. And you know, we can talk about inner products and outer products. These are some of the ideas we'll introduce. And then the idea would be to extend beyond there to tensors. But you know, jumping right into tensors is a little bit too involved, I think. So I wanted to, in this book, to motivate ideas from linear algebra first, vectors and such, and maybe discuss those ideas in the context of color vectors, you know, where it might have a good idea, maybe a better method of introducing these ideas without so much geometric machinery. Sometimes it's helpful just to see another look at linear algebra, and I thought like looking at colors and color vectors and matrices as color filters might be a good way to ground some of the ideas from linear algebra. The idea, of course, is to do this grounding in linear algebra and then to hopefully extend it onto problems in geometry. We'll look at the inner product, you know, in terms of projections, and you can see that our book has some interactive graphics, of course, that where the animations kind of move a little bit, and you know we're gonna try to transition appropriately, transition from over here from color vectors, and then try to transition into the geometric mode where we're going to look at, you know, perhaps geometry in the form of topographical maps and kind of lay a groundwork for transitioning into geometry. This interactive book on tensors has a lot of graphics that will hopefully help you get used to the underlying ideas here. We've got some, you can see, you know, this animation moving over here. And the mathematics is also moving at the same time, showing how the numbers change. So this is kind of one of the ideas in the books that we at Unconcise Math are trying to write. Interactive books, one-page books where you can try to digest a page at a time. And all those pages in the table of contents kind of go together. And, you know, this is, once we get all these ideas grounded down, we can then kind of gradually start to introduce tensors as higher dimensional storage space, kind of like a computer science idea for introducing tensors. And yeah, get into tensors as storage. And then once we have that, the tensors kind of grounded down a little bit, and motivated, you know, we'll get into like a very important result from geometry called Gauss's Theorema Egregium. And, you know, here we'll try to illustrate the best we can this idea as many ways as we can graphically, with osculating circles and these kind of ideas that we'll develop in the book. And, you know, and then always, of course, there's animations to try to illustrate the ideas that we're talking about. So that's kind of just a 30,000 foot view of the OnTensors book. You can go to unconcise.com/blog if you want to get a look at the 4 different books and how to link to all of them. This book that we're talking about here, OnTensors, right here at the top, I've shown you how to link to that from unconcisemath.com, and you'll see the OnTensors book here with an Apple book link below it to the book itself. I appreciate everybody's patience today and listening to this just 30,000 foot view. Yeah, not too much details do I want to talk about. I would prefer to handle that in the book itself. If you would like to read some of the blog posts about the metric tensor or the previous books, they're here. But my hope is that what you'll get into the OnTensors book itself and hopefully enjoy what you read. Thank you very much.